My name is Ron Reed, and I've been a technical support advisor for a little more than 30 years. The last year, though, has been the best year of all because of Blitzz. Prior to Blitzz, it's all in here, and I'm advising people based on what's in here, based on what I can see in here, and helping them. It's been a great career. Blitzz has made my job so much easier. One other bit of tidbit before I jump into the full-blown testimonial. Our company has multiplied the number of licenses that we've used for Blitzz by 4 times. That's how successful we've been with it. Before I give my full-blown Blitzz testimonial, I wanted to talk about first, why not use FaceTime? Because I feel like FaceTime kind of comes to mind when people think of Blitzz, but it's not a good fit. FaceTime just doesn't work as well as Blitzz for the following and many more, but I want to keep it just to these reasons. One, it's iPhone only. Android users, you're out of luck. Two, I have to use my cell phone. So now my customers have my personal cell phone, which makes me, 40 hours a week to 24/7. Not cool. The phone screen, well, shows way too much of me. Nobody wants that. The phone orientation, how to hold the phone, it's completely crazy. I spend more time trying to get somebody to find the back camera button than I do assisting them with the actual issue they called about in the first place. There's no on-screen pointer. So I'm still left to describe things that, because I'm taking up most of the screen, they can barely see. It's a mess. Don't use FaceTime because it just wasn't created as a support app. I guess saying how I discovered Blitzz might be a little narcissistic or something. I don't mean it to be that way. Let's just say that I want to quickly tell the story of how I discovered Blitzz. I was working on my home thermostat, and while working on it, managed to completely break it. So now I've got no heat. It's pretty much a typical weekend for me. So I had to contact Honeywell and work with them to get support. And it was one of the best support experiences I've ever had. They sent me a text message. I clicked the link. I clicked allow. They guided me right downstairs to my basement, to my furnace, to the device that's stuck onto the furnace that I'd never noticed before, had me point the camera at it, and right there on my screen, an arrow pointing right to the button that she needs me to press and hold. I pressed and held it, heater kicked on. It's a miracle. So as soon as I was armed with that information, I immediately started to look to try to find the same type of solution. I say same type of solution because, well, Honeywell, turns out they use one that's comparable, but man, is it expensive. So that caused me to call and research and deep dive several vendors that are similar to Blitzz, but Blitzz is fantastic and priced to sell. As soon as I found Blitzz, I knew that I found a platform that our company would eagerly afford. I want to talk about how many calls I've resolved using Blitzz. Keep in mind, not every call requires Blitzz. There's a lot of stuff that it's so cut and dry that there's no need to create a Blitzz case and connect with the customer on that level. However, with that said, my total number of Blitzz calls in that year were 762. The average number of minutes per call wound up being 11.6. I'll talk about that for a moment. For the seasoned technical support advisor or people in leadership with technical support advisors, 11.6 is a little on the long side for some support calls. Keep in mind, I'm using Blitzz for the tricky stuff, not the quick and simple stuff, the low-hanging fruit, but the stuff that used to take me 20 minutes now takes 11.6 minutes on average. Finally, the total number of hours, I guess if you do mathematically right, I ranked at 147 hours worth of Blitzz last year. Good stuff. How satisfied am I with Blitzz? Well, you've probably already gotten some clues, but on a scale of 1 to 10, Blitzz goes to 11. The greatest benefit of Blitzz? Makes my job simpler, faster, vastly improves my accuracy. Customer reaction to Blitzz, 100% impressed. It really is night and day. In fact, the customers often say, hey, can we do that camera thingy, if they've had us do it with them before. So they're huge fans of it. I want to show off some of the coolest features in Blitzz. I'm not going to dive into everything. There's a lot you can do with it. With that said, it's all simple and easy to use. They haven't cluttered it with a lot of needless stuff. However, the stuff I use most is as follows. The pointer. I don't have a picture of it, but essentially on your phone, I can literally move my mouse to show specifically right on your phone screen exactly anything that I need to point out to you, any area I need to call your attention to. Beyond that, there's an ability for me to take a photo of that area. For example, this photo here. You might not be able to see it. Down at the bottom of that photo, there's date and time that I took the photo, and that's automatically a part of the photo itself. And those photos I can save to the case, and I can also download them, use them in any way I want, email them, etc. But they do remain part of the Blitzz case. Markup is another feature that's fantastic. Very similar to photo. But instead of using a live pointer like I use so much, occasionally markup is extremely helpful. I'll show a few examples. Using markup, I'm able to take a photo, and then those green arrows you see, I easily and quickly drew those. I'll show another example. This red box, that's a screen to one of our devices. That red box around that one button is not typically there. That's a red box that I drew. And so you can see how impressive that is to point out to a customer, this is the button you want to press. For example, finally, these green arrows and the red arrow, you can use so many colors, however you want to do it. But all those green arrows and the red arrow at the top are arrows that I drew. There's a lot more you can do than what I'm demonstrating here. What I'm saying is, I've been using it for a year, and these to me are the coolest features. Oh, I left one out. By far the coolest feature is how easy it is to use. In summary, obviously I love Blitzz. It actually makes the job fun. And I love my job. Blitzz makes me love my job more. I guess the greatest testimonial for Blitzz and how successful we were with it was that toward the end of our first year of license, our company expanded the number of licenses. I said this earlier, but it's worth repeating. We expanded the number of licenses we have by 4 times. So obviously, our whole company is really invested with the success that Blitzz has given us.